Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. I have Kim to my left, Mac is to my right, my name is TJ, and we'd like to thank all our new and old subscribers for your support. A shout out to Krabby out there. A couple weeks ago, and I noticed this, and I wondered why, and then I read an article in the American Thinker, which, as some of you know, is one of my favorite websites. But for the last few weeks, there's been this obscene polling data about how Biden has this insurmountable double-digit lead, ranging anywhere from 14 to 16 points. So I'd like to ask Kim, do you believe Biden has a 16-point polling edge over Trump?
Definitely not. I think he's losing.
I don't believe he has any lead.
You know what? No one really believes that. But when I watch the 5 at 5, and I listen to Juan Williams, and he's a believer. He really believes that polling data is gospel. Of course, Jesse Waters disputes it. But I'm thinking, why would Juan Williams or any run-of-the-mill leftist liberal sign on to it and believe it so deeply? I mean,
Right.
I believe they've deceived themselves, but
I'm not convinced that he really believes it.
well,
I think they want to make people believe it so
and-
that they'll go out and vote that way because people follow.
Or stay home.
yeah. Well, anyways, when I read this article in the American Thinker, and he posits a theory, and if you've watched these videos, I like to theorize, and so one of the theories is. Biden has such a commanding, insurmountable lead over Trump that should come election day, and of course we here don't believe it, but come election day, Trump wins, and he might even win big. But what then what'll happen is aha, how Trump had to have stolen the election. There's no way he could have overcome a 16-point poll lead.
No one in history's overcome that.
And so but it gets even worse than that because of setting the stage, and basically the media has to be in cahoots with the Democrats, which we all already believe they are.
Yeah.
Okay, and he references how the Democrats are dependent on the media for putting out a boatload of little lies to sell the big lie.
Right.
The big lie being Trump stole the election. And in Trump stealing the election, surprise, surprise, now you got Antifa and violent portion of the BLM, and anyone that's a leftist. Well, now they have this perceived right to go out and protest because, well...
Protest, riot, you mean?
Yeah, riot.
And attack people.
Because, and it'll be all under the premise of, aha, Trump stole the election, so now we have...
To overthrow the government.
Now we've got to overthrow the government. We've got all these rights. We got, and of course the Democrats are going to give them a wink and a nod, and I've always said tacit approval. Mm-hmm. But,
I don't even know that it's tacit. I think it's right out there.
Well,
I think, they're...
Yeah, right out there now. You know what? I'm being generous. Okay.
Don't be generous with me.
Okay. But what he mentions in this article, I'm going to go back to the American Thinker article, and it was written by William Gensert, Gensert, and the title of the article was "The Left's Mostly Peaceful Revolution /coup." And he's mentioning how because they sell the big lie of the Trump theft, stealing the election, and now the Antifas have every right to violently take to the streets. He mentions all the new gun owners out there. And from what I'm told, there are so many new gun owners just this year. I think it exceeds like the last 20 combined or something. It's pretty obscene, the whole new gun owners out there. Not to mention if you go to Dunham's, Dunham's.
Don't go to Dick's.
Yeah,
No,
don't
they-
go to Dick's.
They banned them.
But if you go to Dunham's, Sportsman's Warehouse, any your typical gun store, good luck finding anything. The counters are bare. I went to a range the other day, and just out of curiosity, they had no ammunition to sell over the counter for using the gun range. Thank goodness I had my own. But
Not even reloads?
well, I didn't ask about reloads because they could have made those. But here's the thing: material for that's getting scarce too, though.
Yeah,
so,
the brass and the gunpowder.
So I don't know. Primers is where they probably have real difficulties. But in any event, the author of the article, he references all the new gun owners, and towards the end of his article, he writes a couple sentences here, which I knew it in my heart, but to see it in print takes it to another level. And this is what he writes. He goes, "There has never been a better trained and armed populace in the history of humanity than the United States citizenry. Every hunter is something of a sniper, and gun owners, many of them are veterans." And I guess
Many of them are Democrats.
yeah, well, unfortunately, that could be true. At least
Here in Michigan, that's the case.
hopefully they see the light. And well, I'll tell you right now, and I keep mentioning Macomb County. You got the Reagan Democrats, and I'm not convinced Biden's going to carry Macomb County. I'm not convinced of it. Just too many local.
Well,
willow
here's the
boys,
thing, though. He's going to carry Oakland, I suspect, which has got a large population for those unfamiliar with Michigan. The Tri-County area is Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County. I suspect he'll lose Macomb County. He'll win Wayne County because they have voter turnouts of 150% of registered, not only of registered voters, but of the population. So, if they've got 600,000 people in Detroit, and that's probably a generous estimate now, they'll have 3 million votes.
Right.
So that's what we have to deal with. So, but
I think we're seeing Oakland change a little bit. They had a huge Trump rally the other day.
yeah, they haven't. Oakland County's voted for Democrats ever since the last time they voted Republican was in 1988 already.
One of the problems with Oakland County is within Oakland County you have the city of Pontiac.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
that's just mini Detroit. Pontiac is a miniature version of Detroit.
Yeah.
So and it's just as violent too. So that's become the developing obstacle with Macomb County. In a really weird sort of way, 25 years ago, it was like Oakland Republican, Macomb Democrat, and I almost wonder if they haven't switched.
Yeah.
Well,
people do migrate from one county to another.
And a lot of them are going over that way from Rochester because of taxes.
We see it on a national level. People are flooding out of New York because they don't like the liberal policies they voted for and the high taxes they voted for, and so on and so forth. So then they run to states like Tennessee. Next thing you know, Tennessee's going blue because of all the Democrats that have moved from New York. Same thing with Californians flooding into Texas. If they turn Texas blue, we're screwed.
Yeah. So anyways, the gist of this article was, and the end segment here, is the whole nonsense of the 14 to 16% poll number that's thrown out there. I'm worried. I'm worried that, and if I had to make a wager right now today, my wager is Trump would win, and I'd say that with crossed fingers. Okay, but my wager is Trump would win, and then it's game on with the extremist
rioting, going to court, trying to drag it past the date, which I think is December 21st. Anybody out there who's in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, which is the day that the Electoral College is due to vote. If they can drag all of that out into January, and I haven't researched this as to how it'll play out. Nancy Pelosi thinks she's going to become president. So what they're doing is, well, they say Trump is stealing the election. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Democrats always project onto others what they're doing.
Well, you know, the other thing is we're already seeing voter fraud.
Massive voter fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, what was
Massive
it? 50,
voter fraud.
Was it 50 or 500,000? 50,000, correct me if I'm wrong, in Ohio,
Yeah, I saw that
the
story
wrong
this morning.
ballots
Yeah.
went out.
Yeah, they're
Well-
finding them in ditches. They're finding them in garbage cans. And these are the ones. Here's the thing that's scary about this is these are the ones they're finding.
Yeah.
What about all the ones that are not finding?
Yeah.
That are floating down the river.
You have to assume they're out there or been in an incinerator already, so they won't be found.
So, anyways, that is the concern. You know, the violence and whatnot. It'll all be justified under the guise of President Trump had to have stole the election again.
Yeah,
You know, because they still think
they
he
think-
stole the first one.
with the
all right.
Russian collusion, which
So
we all now know that Hillary Clinton was behind, and Barack Obama too.
yeah, really. So that was the gist of the article. The whole the suspicion, the theory of why this obscene 14 to 16% poll advantage.
For a guy that doesn't even know where he
Yeah.
is and can't get this and can't get 40 people to show up at a rally.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You-
So,
It's counterintuitive.
anyways, that's what I got. If you guys got anything else,
Nope.
nothing. All right, that's a wrap. See you next time, and remember, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.